first, to defend algebra a little bit, when algebra is a bunch of like equations up on the board and it doesn't make any sense. No, I mean, algebra as it is often taught, does it have a point for somebody who might struggle to understand it? Not necessarily, but being part of a general education class, learning higher mathematics, I think that has value no matter what the math is. But to defend algebra a little bit, algebra can be very, very different than that. Like algebra can be, there's a website called visualpatterns.com, and it's run by this math educator called Fan Nguyen. And all it is visual sequences. It's like one block. Okay, the next block has like this shape. The next block has this shape, and they're growing, right? And kids will do these activities where they look at them, they figure out how they're growing, and they use that to start generalizing mathematics. So they're like, okay, if it was the 10th one, what would it be? Now, this seems kind of abstract, but I have done this in inclusive classrooms, and I've done research in inclusive classrooms where I have seen kids build them out of blocks and then follow conversations that are about generalization of the variable. But if there were no blocks, if there were no visuals, these kids would not be following what was happening. So when math becomes very abstract and very verbal, some students with disabilities, that's their jam and they'll love that, but a lot will not. Like mathematics needs to be visual and concrete and real. And I think that including a student with intellectual differences in a general education math class would probably be wonderful for everyone if the teacher took it quite seriously and made sure that everything was concrete, everything was real, that variable, they made sure they understood the concept of a variable and the concepts of equivalence. And like it was so visual and real to kids that it made a ton of sense. Like that would be amazing, because the inclusion of that child would make it better for all those other kids who are getting bored out of their minds when algebra becomes totally decontextualized. So algebra can be meaningful, it can be visual, it can be fun, it can be engaging, and there's real value there for kids. It just needs to be taught in a way that really makes sense to children.